Cindy.
Hi, everyone. Hey, welcome, welcome. We get to see each other again. Third time's the charm. I've changed my shirt each time just so I have a different shirt on for people that have been coming in these sessions. I think I've been in three today, and I picked the evening because I really feel there's a nice energy in the evening for talking about these things. And welcome everyone. If you don't know who I am, and it's likely that many of you don't, since we're going to keep this recording up. This is 16 weeks conversations. That is, I think it's really helpful for people on the path of awakening. And this is, our first conversation was on what is awakening, what is truth, what is the world, and this month for the next 4 weeks we're going to be talking about what is your path. And I don't know about you, but for me, I was just drawn to this path. I didn't really have a clear direction. It was just this showed up and then that showed up, and my curiosity was really on the 100th floor of the highest building. I wanted to know about everything. I first, wanted to know if Jesus was true, and then I wanted to, uh, you know, find out if everything else was true. And so the path of curiosity, curiosity is really the first start of the path, and then it unfolds into um, if you have a taste of truth, if you taste your true nature, if you have a glimpse of it, and something instills a source, something instills that this teaching feels true, or that teaching, it resonates. It's a resonating experience, and you'll also resonate or not with the teachers, with the teaching. Some books just get set down. Some teachers just they're not vibing. You're not vibing with them, and they can be some of the best teachers, in the world. I love Ken Wapnick, the teacher, the guy who first picked up the course and put it out there in the Blue Book. And he was my first teacher. And then after that, Muji, and then after that, uh, Rupert Spira, Francis, and the Non-Dual, and Byron Katie and Adyashanti, all of those guys and gals. And so I was always tasting of the different flavors of the teachings, so that I could, really, not so because I wasn't satisfied. I resonated. I met Muji right away after Lisa and I went and met him in London, and he spoke to me in simultaneous with A Course in Miracles. And he invited me to come and live at his ashram, so I did. But I didn't like the guru thing. I didn't particularly like community too much, because people take your stuff, and I think I was a little like I liked my towel, but they didn't usually wear your clothes, but I liked my own towel, and it kept showing up on somebody else's clothesline. and I didn't like that too much. But I loved Muji. I loved his teaching. I'd stayed up till uh, all hour, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. We would be sitting with Muji with maybe 10 or 12 people for I mean, for weeks and months. And it really saturated me with the the direction of that would be my path. My path, and it was because these direct experiences that are the glimpses, and then full you would have a samadhi experience sitting in this container, and you would be so overwhelmed with the truth that you wouldn't want to spoil it with words. So you wouldn't want anyone to talk to you where you had to start talking back. You kind of get lost and leave and just be in this space. But this is a these path decisions, or these path, they're really not even decisions. It's more of a feeling that we find ourselves in. And if um, if I were to ask you, what is your path? What is your path? What's your do you know? Do you know what your path is? Is there a particular goal that you have in mind? A Someone that models what you feel that you are looking for? Maybe you read in a book, if you follow Rupert Spira, you are the happiness that you seek. Amazing book. You are the happiness you seek. Or the nature of consciousness, or many teachers, all good, the ones I've mentioned. But what are you drawn to? Are you drawn to, as I was drawn, I got hit over the head with A Course in Miracles because it corrected a lot of Christian stuff that wasn't true. And then I made A Course in Miracles, as a fundamentalist. I became a fundamentalist, and recognized within a year that was off. There's other deep teachings out there, the Tao Te Ching, the Bhagavad Gita, the Vedas, the Upanishads, it's on and on and on. There's thousands of them. And so you need to pick something that will satisfy your yearning to know the truth. And it would be my suggestion, if you're not already established, and I feel that most of you are, or maybe all of you are established in your path, your understanding, and you're super satisfied, super happy, like I am. And I mean, this is so much better than what I thought the Bible said, and so much better than what I thought was possible. And it's so totally true. It's not like, oh, I wonder if those miracles really happened. The miracles that Jesus is said to have done, they don't even matter. They're not even important. But what is important is, oh my God, know thyself. That's the big takeaway. Know thyself. When you know yourself, when you know your true nature, then anything can happen. And I'm not, trying to prophesy that something needs to prove that. I have my own inner proof. We each one will end up with our own inner proof and recognition of our true nature. And, and sometimes we go in and out of it, which is super normal. Doesn't mean you're not getting it. Doesn't mean you can't understand it, or you're not ready. The mind plays that trick on us before we're firmly established in the truth, before we're firmly established in our true nature. The mind plays the game that says, "Oh yeah, you're not ready, or you're not getting this," or it gives you all kinds of distractions. And when you hear from people, you resonate with people that seem like they know something. They're speaking in a way that sounds like they're that's an experience. It's something that's verified in them. It's not a concept. It's not something that they're remembering, but it's something that they know. And when you know, you know. You don't have to ask. A teacher doesn't need to tell you that you're awake. You're at first you wouldn't say, am I, if you ask, am I awake? You're not. That's just goes without saying. What you find out is that you end up just knowing that something has been revealed, and it feels truer than your own life. It feels truer than anything you ever knew. And this feels like okay, and then and it has a visceral connection of knowing in realizing, and so you just know. But before you know, you can be pulled in different directions to taste different teachings. Some are really, really off. Some are so far off you may not get back on path for decades. So you really want um, to to be in your heart space, asking your inner teacher that we all have, show me the teaching that is the clearest path of knowing the self. Show me and you're not asking God out there. You can. It's closer if you just go within and speak to speak to consciousness, speak to love, speak to presence. Don't make it an idol. Yeah, I mean, you can speak to Jesus, that works. You can speak to Buddha, that works. You can speak, I know people that have spoken to Ramana, that works. So you can use a symbol of that one. You saw your awakening in that one. You saw awakeness in that one. And what did you really see? What you really saw was your true nature in them. That's what you really saw. So when you revere someone like Jesus or Buddha or Ramana or Rupert, any of or A Course in Miracles, or any of those teachings, what you're seeing is you're seeing the portal to your own understanding. And when you see it in a live person, as I did with Muji, I knew he could see, and I wanted to see what he saw. And a good teacher can keep you from stumbling over your own bad habits, or stumbling through a process that the mind will love you to stay on as a distraction. Because the mind that starts the awakening experience, the personal self identity, it wants to wake up. The ego is the starting point. It wants to wake up, and It has to go away. It takes a good a teacher. It takes a good steering to steer through that or to navigate that. That's one of the things that a guru does, a good teacher does. The teachers that I mentioned, all of them do that. And even Muji doesn't, when you go to Sahaja, to his ashram, first of all, most people can't get in because it's just a small, I think they have a couple hundred people there and they're pretty much closed. And it was, it's not, it's not open, but it's not a cult. It's more of a guru, um, they idolize Muji quite a bit. I'm not into that. Uh, his teaching is very direct, and the beings that are there, 15 years since I mean, I haven't been there in 5 or 6 years, but the ones I met 15 years ago, they're still there. I'm in communication with them last week because I want to go film him for our documentary series, and I've been trying to get access to or get him to say yes that our film crew can come. Otherwise, it's an ashram. You get the same thing if you go to the one of the Shivananda ashrams, or if you go to the Ramana Maharshi. You don't have a guru there because he's passed, but you can go to an ashram and you can have a really devotional sadhana experience with these gurus at these ashrams, and it will take you into a deep, abiding experience of awakening. It'll be faster than, reading books or following online. But you have to, I mean, if you really want to go to the summit without taking the long road around to the top of the summit. If you want to go to the summit, you're in the right place uh, here because we're going to point you with the Center for Awakening. We're not looking for credit for us. We have conferences with 25 speakers. The reason we have all of these speakers, all of these different traditions, and is because we and I think I've been inspired to meet all of these individuals, all of these teachers. I'm recognizing that they're all saying the same thing. No one has captured, like they're not all there's not one that's special, and that, like, if you touch his feet or his robe, you're gonna have your awakening experience. But we really we point to safe teachers, teachers that we know will that if someone resonates with them, they'll they'll find a teacher. And sometimes the teachers aren't, sometimes they take advantage of people. And if a teacher's taking advantage of someone, I usually sound the alarm. And I don't do it very often, but sometimes I sound the alarm. Be careful here. Uh, so in choosing your path, first, I think you have to determine, is it a path? Is it a life journey? And are you ready to commit to the deep experience of this path? And what is the path? What are you looking for in the path? Because some people, if you're a Course in Miracles student, or the Tao Te Ching, or the Bhagavad Gita, or the Advaita, you can spend decades getting very familiar with the content, getting very familiar with the teaching, and know chapter and verse, page numbers, where everything is found. and never have an awakening experience. You can do that. And also you can be happy with that. You can be satisfied. That's what I mean, I don't know that Christianity didn't do it for me after 20 plus years. I always felt there was something missing, and that was, it was obvious that it was that it was it it was inconsistent. It didn't it didn't everyone wasn't invited. Everyone wasn't, it wasn't, there was no equality. Uh, but once you decide what you're looking for, if it's awakening, that's a different uh, that's a different tradition. That's a different path than just being a Course in Miracles student or one of these other teachings student. You're not really, you don't really have an awakening experience if you just want to have a teaching and remain in ignorance of who you really are. So, uh, first and foremost, your path is determined by what it is you want. Your path is determined and it is, I feel that desire is the first ingredient, even though desire goes away in awakening. The desire of your heart to know the self is uh, the liftoff ingredient that calls you to the path. And the desire to wake up is different than the desire to be like we started with the Teachers of God Foundation. We started with just read the course, do what it says, and that's all you need. That's not true. Uh, Lisa and I used to say that all the time. Just read the course, do what it says, read all the workbook lessons, follow them, don't miss anything, read all of the different introductions, the manual for teachers, the clarification of terms, the text, do what it says, and that's all you need. And that's not true. You can't have an awakening by living in the concepts of the course. There's content in there that will initiate your awakening, that will spark it. There is so much rich content in A Course in Miracles that will release you from your old way of being, that will release you from the ignorance that you were holding. And it's so neat, it's so amazing. It comes right in the back door. It kind of tricks you by following the workbook lessons every day and doing what it says. For those that are really dedicated course students, the purification process is happening on day one, and the course is masterful in purifying the mind, but it's not so masterful and helping you to release yourself from the duality of its thought system, from the duality of the structure, the framework that it's written. So most of the people that I know that have had an awakening experience that were course students, they've also played with some other non-dual teaching like Advaita Vedanta or the Bhagavad Gita or some of the other non-dual teachings. And then, like me, they've come back to the course, or sometimes they do find that first, and then they find the course and they fall in love with the course and they see it as a totally non-dual teaching. But you can get stuck in the dualistic terms of the course for decades and never have an awakening experience, and also be very happy. I was very happy in my experience of following the course. 8 years, I read it from start to finish, and it was missing something. And I saw a glimpse of the awakening experience of what that was when I went to see Muji. And then when I met Rupert Spira, that brought me into the understanding for a direct experience. And I recognized I was no longer seeking. I was a lover of truth, like many of you that are here. Yeah, I recognize, oh my God, and I have book studies. I've been doing them for 7 years. I do the conferences, I do the Awakening Mind films, I interview all of these people, not because I'm seeking, it's because I'm totally in love with the truth, with what it's saying, what it's sharing, and that I can use some of the skills that came to me in other uh, ways. I can use them to help support people all over the world. That gives me a great. I just have such joy in that. And I just came off a call with one of our producers of Awakening Mind Films, and those guys, we were talking about what happens when you speak of these things over and over again, or when you speak of, you have a like a book study, or you're talking about, we're talking about Muji in our conversation. We're talking about the teachings of Mind Awake, the webinars that we're going to start this month. We're talking about that, but I had a couple of book study. I had a book study yesterday, another one today. Oh my God, I'm just feel like I'm just uh, marinating in the truth of the path that we're on. And so once you establish what your path is, if your path is awakening, which is my suggestion for everyone here, because that's the reason you came into time and space. You came into that bodysuit with your name and your particular whatever you are, and you got to this point right here. You came here to wake up. That's the only reason that you come. And you may have had 1,000 tries. This may be your, you don't know. This is the most ripe that consciousness has been historically that we have any record for. This is the great awakening. This is like the front wave of awakening. I mean, just think of this: 150 years ago, 25 years ago, we didn't have this ability. We're all on Skype, but 100 years ago, 200 years ago, you maybe closer to being burned at the stake for this kind of content. So this is a very exciting time, and a Swami told me in Rishikesh once that you don't know how many lifetimes that you've gone through to get ready for this one. Don't waste it. So whatever, if your path isn't to awaken, I I strongly suggest that you contemplate that. I strongly suggest that you really ask yourself, why am I following this teaching or that teaching? And is this my life journey experience? Is this and will this bring me to the place that is know thyself? Or do I even want to go? So you really ask yourself, what do you hope to achieve? What do you hope to get or to access? And understanding what the purpose is for yourself. Do you know what your purpose for your path is for your life? Because that will help you to determine which path is the one for you. And you don't have to or get to decide because you don't make your own decisions. Your heart does. Your heart, the call of your heart makes all the decisions. Or the cry of your heart. That your heart is what opens up the doors and brings people into your life to draw you to the destination that your heart knows is true, that your heart knows is your destination, the fastest and most direct way for that destination, that your heart will lead you to that destination. And let's see. I think we'll just pause right there, and I see that there's a hand up. Hi, Tomas. Is that the right way to say your name?
Yeah, hi Bill.
Hi,
Be with you. I
welcome.
first heard you were interviewing Angela DeLulu maybe a year ago or so.
Okay,
Do you
yeah.
know Angelo? He's from
Oh, yeah.
Denver. He's
Yeah, I've been to his house. I interviewed him for Awakening Mind Films, and he is in our conferences, right?
When's the next conference?
It's November 8th, 9th, and 10th.
Okay.
And you can, I'm pretty sure it's on the centerforowakening.org. It's on our website.
Okay. I didn't realize you had one scheduled.
Yeah.
Um, I have been into non-dual circles for many years, was with Muji and Rishikesh. When was the last year he did that? Maybe 2015 or something?
No, he was there in 22. His last they had a really big event there in 20, or maybe it was 21. Where they rented that big space and they had a
Shivananda's Hall.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And you probably know Daniel Schwartz, or you're familiar with him. Isn't that his name? He's in Canada. He does Samadhi, Samadhi films.
Oh, that's Dan Schmidt.
Dan
He's one of
Schmidt,
our yeah, he's one of our partners. I just came off a Zoom call with Dan.
really.
Yeah, he's one of our partners in Awakening Mind Films.
Well, he's awesome. And I sort of listened to a silent retreat. I was unable to attend it, or an online retreat that took place the end of last year.
Yep,
One of the things that he um, facilitates is 5-Demio DMT.
I do. I mean, I haven't done it, but I know about it. Yeah.
So I was curious, about that because I've done psychedelics maybe, I don't know, 8 or 10 times, and I had someone I knew who came to me and said, "Hey, he has some 5-Demio DMT, the toad venom, and
Oh, iboga.
yeah." So I did it and I had an amazing experience of just being totally like above all my problems and mental like stuff, and a lot of my mental stuff is around relationship. I'm divorced and I've had many relationships with women and men, and it's been a uh, sort of like, I don't know, like an open wound or something that I've been able to like um make peace with it now and again, but it's like a wound, like a sore that you think it's healing and then it reopens, and the wound is opening. But when I was on the DMT, I just was totally above it. And I could see that a lot of the relationship stuff was body oriented and sex oriented. So, and that was, I think, like in February, and I've done I think two of Angelo's silent retreats, and he has so much content out there on YouTube, and um, I think I don't want to quote him, but I think from listening to him, I I don't identify with the idea of a path. I mean, to me, it's more what's present, you know, and because I can't foresee like a path in terms of, looking at a map and a destination. I want to go to Ukiah and I'm going to have to first take this whatever.
So
Um,
we can use a different word. What's your priority?
well, to be present,
Okay,
presence.
so that in my mind, that's a path. What's your priority in life?
Well,
And
now see, to me, that gets into a mental thought. Oh, I want to do this with my business, and I want to take these three steps in my relationship, and I want to, all this
yeah,
mental
yeah, yeah. It can
thought.
get that could get mental. So this is really a question that's not meant to be answered. It's meant to be contemplated, so that so that you bring to what it is that you want. So it's just an idea that would bring the that would eliminate distractions, number one, and it would move um, consciousness, the intelligence that is available to just dispose of these distractions. And that iboga may be a distraction. If you've done it 10 times and
No, no, no.
have
I've
you,
done psychedelics 10 times. Aboga just once.
oh, okay. And recently, the psychedelics?
No, like maybe 40 years ago or
Oh,
something.
okay. Yeah, that would be me too. So yeah, I did those in the old days. For the plant medicine for today, for the things that Dan doesn't always do the plant medicine. I don't think he does the iboga there now. And they don't mostly do what they're doing is online retreats, but
Right.
to have an awakening experience, it doesn't require plant medicine. It doesn't require psychedelics. For some people, it can be helpful if to just have a glimpse. But I know more people that don't stop than I do that just use it for the glimpse. And if someone has the plant medicine experience or the iboga or the microdose for awakening, if it's managed like what Dan does, they really manage it. And also you're under their care for a week, and you're there for awakening, period. So they don't have a lot of repeat um, clients for that, because they also have the I am retreat, which is just self-inquiry. And that's the most valuable piece of that whole component, because it gives a place, a no escape for the ego environment. And awakening occurs more so in the self-inquiry than it does on because of the microdosing. The microdosing mostly sends you into an other world. From what I understand, I don't have any interest in it, but I do have an interest in knowing about it. So I've quizzed Dan and his partner, who administers it. She's actually she's certified as a microdose professional. But having said all of that, Tomas. So you're not on a journey, you're not on a path because you don't want to call it a path, but how's your awakening experience going?
Well,
Are you happy?
yeah, I'm happy. And as I mentioned, I have this wound that that keeps reopening. Like last night, I've been seeing a woman. We'd been out maybe 10 times, and it wasn't going anywhere beyond a kiss and a hug. So I finally asked her, "Do you want to be in a relationship?" And she didn't say much. And she called me yesterday and said, I don't want to be in a relationship. So I realized the reason it wasn't going anywhere was she didn't want to be in a relationship. She wanted a friend, but didn't want to much beyond a platonic friend. Um, so that it reopened the wound because I really liked her and was attracted to her and all this stuff. And I thought maybe she would be the one, although I did sense that spiritually or, awakening oriented, that she was at a different level than I was. So I was concerned that it wasn't, wouldn't be a relationship equal. Anyway, I have been, I was with Adyashanti for years and Muji, and I've been with Rupert. And so I've had various awakening experiences. And, one of the things that Angelo says is that there are levels of awakening, which I agree. I mean, I think, when you first hear these teachings, you think, oh, it's going to be, I awoke, on August 7th, 2024 at 4:30 p.m. Pacific time.
Yeah.
And, it's from listening to many of Angelo's YouTubes, I've realized that, it's not a one and done kind of thing, it's, I guess you could say it's a path.
It's a journey. It's a journey of awakening. And if you get distracted by relationships or money or a goal to, to achieve things, that will take you the long way around a deepening experience where so that's why I say, what does your heart say that you want? If your heart says you want a relationship, and you want to have your awakening, you're divided in your goals.
Well, do you think that to have a goal of awakening, I mean, isn't that a mental, it's a mental thing. And I guess I believe more in the experience of awakening in day-to-day life. And so my concern with having a goal of awakening is I'm trying,
Okay.
and
Yeah, that would be, you'd be a really good Course in Miracles student as a
I've
happy
done the
that
course.
yeah, so that's a happy dreamer
It's too much Jesus
description.
oriented for me. Although I grew up, I've
Yeah,
taught Sunday
yeah.
school and Christian.
When
Anyway,
someone wants to awaken, I mean, really have an awakening experience, it needs to be have singular focus. There can't be something else that you want more. It has to have singular focus and intention. And if that's not the case, then just enjoy life and taste of all the different teachings and use the tools that are available so you stop suffering. Um, but uh, so that's my 2 cents on on that. And Tomas, I'm going to have to hang up here because someone else, that woman had her hand up, and I don't think I'm being a good host if I just stay on with one person.
Okay, good to be with you, Bill. Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you, Tomas. Where did you go that had your hand up, honey? I'm sorry I didn't take your hand, but if you're still
Yes.
here,
Carrie Lynn had her
Carrie
hand up.
Lynn. Oh, okay, Carrie Lynn, do you still have a question? Okay. Well, if there's any other questions, we still have 15 minutes. And this idea that I'm uh, speaking about really is what is your path? Is the idea to help, and you'll hear from three other teachers, three other we're not higher or better than anyone that is here or that comes to that I would call us teachers just simply because we're the ones who are turning the screen on and we're presenting a or offering an idea that we hope will support you in your journey of awakening and help you to get there the quickest, the easiest, and the safest, and to have to really enjoy this path of awakening because it is a path of just really it changes life completely. It makes life so much sweeter, and all the chaos and craziness and things that happen in the human condition, it softens it. It helps you to navigate and still be in love, still be happy, and actually uh, it makes you more gentle on yourself and others, and it allows you to be more accepting of whatever happens in life without getting caught up in the judgment of it and the energy of projection and all of that other stuff. It helps you to stop suffering. And if you have the deep awakening experience, it brings you to the place of inner peace and happiness in everything that happens. And it is available, and many people here already live in that place, and many people that around the world, and lots of people that we've met that pass through our doors. They have found the peace and happiness that they seek, and it has a lot of different flavors. It has a lot of different descriptions. And the bottom line is, it is available to all of us. And in having a uh, what is the answering the question, what is your path? Having ideas to contemplate will, and some of the ideas that you'll hear from me, or you'll hear from Cindy or Susan or Amy, you'll hear ideas for what is a path, what is your goal, what's your intention, and how to get there the with the least disturbance, the clearest path of awakening. That's what this 4 weeks is about, is to just talk about what is your path and have you thought about it? Why are you on this particular path? And is just like Tomas had mentioned the plant medicine, my strong suggestion is don't do it with the plant medicine. And if you do, I don't have any judgment on it. Just just make sure that you're not going to get caught up in just being addicted to the plant medicine. I know people that did that, and they, and they still haven't had their awakening experience. And so you can get off path by picking the wrong thing, and you don't need the plant medicine to wake up. You can wake up without it. If you allow your heart will draw you to the destination that is best fitted for your awakening. And you can kind of feel uh, if you're on the right path. You can feel that that you met this person or you were led over to this this teaching. You can sort of tell uh, if this is the right path for you, if it brings you joy and fulfillment, and if the teaching in these paths, I will say, um, I'm going to have to backpedal on what I just said. The path of awakening can be very painful also. So I'm going to backpedal from what I just said because that's really describing where I am. But getting here was I had to suffer a little bit, and often we have to meet our dark shadows. We have to get rid of the beliefs that are holding us a prisoner to an identity of our past or traumas that we've gone through or things like Tomas was just mentioning the relationship. If you want the relationship and awakening, that relationship thing has to be managed first. Because when you have your awakening experience, it doesn't matter how close you are on the same path of awakening. I know a lot of people that one is on the path of awakening and actually has self-realized, and their partner's not interested in spiritual things at all. And that works. That actually works because this one that has the awakening, they were on a vertical trajectory and they didn't care whether this person woke up or not. And they had their awakening and they still don't care if this person ever wakes up. They don't need to for them to be uh, perfectly 100% compatible. When two people are on the same path like this, often that's the hardest one because this is a lot of friction. There's so much projection and there's so much feeding on the other one. This one right here, this is a very difficult one for two people to wake up and I can speak directly to that one because that was the experience that I had, and I had to get past that almost divorced before I came to a place where I didn't need to be married anymore. I didn't need to wake up. I didn't need to have an awake. You have to let go of wanting awakening too. You have to not have your destination has to have no destination. But starting out, it's helpful to have an interest in I want to wake up. So your heart will draw you to that. I know that sounds like a paradox because it is. You desire to wake up, but you have to not desire to wake up. And that will help you in your awakening. You learn to let go of the things that don't matter. And when you let go of the things that don't matter, the 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 initial destination, and this is why I said your heart will lead you to your awakening experience because the 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 mind that thinks it's going to wake up, it actually is set aside. And you come to a place just like the Course in Miracles says. I think this should be the 360 lesson 365. You forget this world, you forget this course, you come with holy empty hands unto your God, and your God is consciousness, and it's you coming to you. You forget this world, you forget all the teachings. You have to forget Muji. If you're going to have an awakening at Muji's ashram, you have to take him off the pedestal and he's not going to awaken you. You have to forget Rupert. Your heart will lead you to the teaching that will take you to the kingdom of heaven, so to speak, to the awakening experience that you're looking for. And we have about 5 minutes left. If there's any final questions,
Bill,
otherwise,
did you see there was a question in the chat?
I did not.
Would you like me to read it to you?
Yes, thank you.
It reads from iPhone 02, so she's on the iPhone, so there's no video, and I don't know if she can speak, but it says, ACIM crossed my path. I'm thankful for it coming from a Catholic background as it corrects a lot of Catholicism. Been a course student for about 10 years, feels like there is ACIM plus something else that would be more helpful, maybe Rupert or Francis, not sure, but they are not sure if they're helpful. I'm looking for direct experience, not just concepts. I think ACIM laid the groundwork with concepts in mind training. She's looking for very specific pointers. What should, as you come from ACIM, looks like she's asking you, what should she do now?
Yeah, well, it's perfect. I mean, that's really, really perfect. That was my experience. That was my wife's experience. She spent 3 decades following the course. I spent maybe 5 years before I found Muji. As a suggestion, I'll give you three suggestions or two suggestions. Rupert Spira, You Are the Happiness You Seek. Just read that book and see if that resonates with you. And Angelo DeLullo, that guy, he has hundreds of free videos. You can follow his book. We're working on his book right now. I'm just picking up where Susan left off, but it's a book that's called Awake. See if you can see that. It's I don't think you can see it with my camera, but it's Angelo DeLullo's book Awake, and then follow his YouTube channels. Join us at the Center for Awakening. If come to the conference in November 8th, 9th, and 10th, and it's free live, and it's a small amount for the replays for 127. You can watch the replays whenever you want. But there's like 25 teachers that are coming to the conference. And what we do with the Center for Awakening and Awakening Mind Films and Pure Presence conferences, we bring the best teachers in the world to the audience to really sit in their sessions, in the teaching session with them, and see if they resonate. And you'll be able to ask them questions. It's a really great opportunity to kind of see the other teachings that are out there. And over a one weekend, we do it in 3 days. It's like nonstop. I'm sitting right here in front of my computer for all day long for 3 days. So yeah, that's my suggestion for you. And thanks for the question. And you'll find that you'll go back to the course and you'll see so much in the course that's always been there. It just you sort of get the course is really great, just like you mentioned. It's really great for laying the groundwork. It's actually perfect for the purification because enlightenment or awakening is everyone's birthright, but purification is necessary first for everyone. Whether you're starting with the non-dual and going to the course, or you're going from the course and going to the non-dual, you can, if you have the awakening experience in the direct path, you still have to go backwards and do the cleanup, the purification experience. And so that's what I have to say on that. Great question. Thank you that you posted that so that I could give that answer to whoever's going to else is watching or who's going to watch it on another time. And I think we're at the end of our time. Well, thank you all for being here, and blessings to you, beloved friends.